there it is. CJ Miles, Toronto Raptors Prestige, and Drake front row. He might be, I mean, he's got his hand up. Maybe he's answering a question. Maybe he's on the phone. Maybe he's eating nachos.
Luca Nation, episode 620 of Lucas Tigers and Bronze. Oh my, about a week out from Mint Collective. A lot of you guys are sending your cards to us for SGC submissions, $30 a card, which will definitely get down below 25 in the coming months as volume ramps up. Address posted on our Instagram page. So that's that. I want to start off with a play that it's not a play. It's going to be a discussion. It might lead to a play. It's a card you know really well. So I want to talk about the Zard first edition. Okay, the 1999 Charizard first edition card, kind of the Michael Jordan, the holy grail of Charizard collectors. Mm-hmm. What I've noticed about that card, and you talked about it, is that Zard PSA 10 is going up in value, right? You started to see it kind of peak back up.
Yeah,
Fair?
I mean, there's one sale in Heritage, which was significantly higher. They're pretty condition sensitive, condition specific, but yes, that particular one was higher, and as a result, the PWCC one that ends this weekend is also higher than any of the sales have been in the list. 6 months. So yeah, if you got two, that's more than just a coincidence.
Perfect. So a PSA 9 also went from 23,000 to 25,000. You saw just a little blimp up, but the PSA 8 and specifically the BGS 8 are actually going in a different direction. So I think, and this is the rubber band effect, this is a million factors play into this, so maybe you'll share what you think, because what you said when the Jordan PSA 10 hit record highs, you did say the 9 and 8 follow, but they actually serve as an anchor effect. They actually could drag the price back down. Mm-hmm. So the BGS 8 cage is a $7,000 card, and it actually once sold for $6,000 the other day. Mm-hmm. At its high, that was the BGS 8 was a $16,000 card on November 30th. Came back down, and then it hit that price again, $16,000 in February 2021. Right now, a BGS 8 is $6,500 was the last sale. What do you think about that? Is that a play? Is that not a play? You know that market the best.
I mean, it depends on what your collecting goals are going to be, right? If you're planning on holding this thing for a couple years, then sure, it's a play. It's a slow and steady play, right? Because the PSA 10, if it does what I think it's going to do, everybody was talking like, it's going to be $1 million card. I still think it's $1 million card. It's just not going to be $1 million card next year or the year after. But maybe in 8 years, maybe in 6 years, maybe in 10 years, sure. And if that is $1 million card or a $600,000 or $700,000 card, then a BGS 8 is going to go up from where it is too. The problem right now is you have a lot of people doing the whole crack and re-slab type of game. The Michael Jordan you compared it to, right? The PSA 10, which hasn't moved yet, but I anticipate that will just start to move too. You heard a lot of talking recently about BGS 9.5s. And people going after them and people saying that they were not exactly, priced accordingly. And, what happens is that 86 Fleer, believe it or not, if you look at what PSA, I hate looking at what they publish. PSA, I love you guys, but I hate looking at the stuff you publish because I have cards with you that are with you since before you closed. I have cards with you that are with you for a long time. And every time I see somebody post something, happy about, look, I got into an economy thing last month and it's 30 days door to door. And I want to be like, how? Like, how does that? I know you got a certain amount of resources to the new stuff, a certain on the backlog, but can't we get the stuff from like 15 months ago out the door? Like, can we at least before we ramp up the new stuff? Can't you how about anything that's more than a year old? Right? Anything that's way back in the day. Anyway, so, but if you notice, PSA, they do their publications. One of the top 5
they would say that those are two different submission levels, right? Because
I'm sure they would say a lot of things, and that they're dedicating more to their backlog, and the backlog will get taken care of in the whole 9 yards. And also, so we want to keep going on it. I take a railroad to work, right? And the railroad judges itself on overall on-time performance. Okay, and you know how they come up with that number? They come up with that number. They give themselves like a couple minute cushion to begin with about whether it's on time, right? So if it's within 5 or 6 minutes, it's considered on time anyway. So already they're flubbing, but it's fine. It's a quasi-governmental entity, so they're allowed to flub. But here's the thing. It's how many trains come in onto what percentage on each line. 97% are there on time, 98% are there on time. Not how many total minutes the delay is. So if you happen to be on a train that is not going to make that 6 minutes, right? You're not going to make, you're already delayed. It's going to be 10, 15 minutes late. They will put other trains behind you past you. At the main hubs, they will let the other trains pass you so that they can make in that first 6 minutes. And if you're already delayed 15, 20 minutes, you're already an angry customer. You're already somebody who's on Twitter complaining about how the train sucks and how you pay so much money for this, that they don't care if you're 15, 20 minutes or an hour late. They are going to screw you because you know what? You're one train. And they've already lost you in their percentage of on time. So they don't care if you're 15, 20, or 3 hours late. That's how I feel with PSA. The people who submitted a year and a half ago through group subs or on their own and are waiting over a year, we're already pissed. So PSA does not care. They're not going to make me a happy customer. I'm already written off as someone who's delayed and an angry malcontent. So they're going to not care about me. They're letting the trains go past me. The ones that started after me are now going past me. It's exactly the same scenario because I'm already pissed. Why do they need to take care? They're not going to make me happy. And I know I'm not the only one out there because I see group submission data like crazy. There's a ton of cards and it's kind of messed up. Anyway, the stuff they put out, Michael Jordan 1986 Fleer is still in the top 5. I think it was number 3 this month of cards that get graded. So what you have is you have a lot of people who are grading and hoping they get a 10, hoping they get a 9. There are people who get 9s or 8.5s. They send them to Beckett, hoping they get a BGS 9 or 9.5. Because now look, it's everybody's looking for the 9.5. And there's this arbitrage, this interplay between the different grading companies where hey, if I get a 9 on the card, I could buy it for 15 or 18 grand. But if it happens to go in 9.5, now I could sell it for $50,000 or $60,000, right? There's a huge gap, a huge play in there. And I think the numbers on those lesser cards get skewed because of that. Right. I think that the BGS 8s be just like there probably aren't as many out there as the population shows. You know what I mean? Whereas the 10 is the 10. Nobody's taking a 10 out, right? So that's part of the issue. That'll be a kind of an anchor and a drag down on it. And the other thing is, the people who are trying to get 9s, 10s, you name when they send them in, those 8s, they're like throwaways. People, those are the, it's amazing to think about it, but, the reason why those things are ending up in new slabs is because people are trying to play this game, and sometimes they fail, right? So they're just trying to get rid of those cards, which is why that $6,500 sale might be less than the $7,000. People are looking for these cards.
How big is the collecting market for Pokemon? I'll ask you like this. So I know there's a lot of Mantle buyers, right? A lot of people buy Mantle. Some people complete the whole set of Mantle from 51 all the way to his last year, and that's pretty cool. But Mantle played all those years. There's like the provenance of like, oh, this was his MVP season. They won a championship. But there's not really that with Charizard, but there is Charizard over all the years too. So if I'm buying, do I buy a Charizard BGS 8 from the first edition? Or do I buy, the Pac Sun PSA 10 one? Or do I buy do you see where I'm going with this?
Yes. Pac Sun was a store in the mall, right? I love it. Pac Sun was Top Sun. Top Sun. Pac Sun, right? Pac Sun was like a clothing store. But I love it. Top Sun. No, you have to go with the one that has the nostalgia to it. You have to go with the one that people played, the card game, right? So, I mean, yeah, the Top Sun's cool. We've given the Tops ones. They're pretty cool. Cardass, which is hilarious. There are some low pop ones of, these cards that are out there. But, ultimately, it's you have to go where the demand is going to be. And the demand for Pokemon is going to be in those, the actual, game played cards. The ones that people have, and a nostalgia with. Now, what's funny is what nostalgia is. You say, is there a demand for it? I got to tell you, I talk to people all the time about cards. People who have kids, people who are just, they did cards when we were kids or whatever it is, and almost uniformly, people who have kids. I say, hey, you getting your kids into cards? They almost always say, no, they do Pokemon because it's shiny. Like they can't get enough Pokemon. And it's not because they want Charizard. It's not because they want the first edition Charizard. It's they want, something shiny. They want to open something that's shiny and the whole deal. So it's funny. I'm curious what in 15 or 20 years, what the kids who are opening it up now, what they're going to go after. The fat Pikachu card or, something else,
It's always interests me when I see something like the PSA 10 having kind of a record sale or starting to peak up, but the lower grades of the exact same card going in a different direction. It just kind of piques my curiosity. So I wanted to bring that up. I have a special guest actually that I'm going to introduce in a second here.
Nice. Keep it in your pants. Don't be disgusting. So here's the thing, right? So I know I look fine today, but we don't need that special guest making an appearance. So I think if you notice the PSA 10, the pop doesn't grow. The pop, there's nothing crazy on that. But we also saw in the last year or so, we saw a bunch of people open boxes, right? We saw Logan Paul open boxes, and Logan Paul, what he got? What he added to the population? He added one Venusaur, PSA 10. But you know what else they added to the population? All these guys opening, Steve Aoki opening him and signing them up, and all these people opening these boxes live. They added some G.I. Joe to the pop. But besides that, they added lower grades of these holos. They added PSA 9s. They added BGS 8s. So that also, impacts the pricing model when the high end doesn't have an added supply, but there's still the same, if not more demand. But a level down or 2 levels down, you're adding supply because people are actually opening these boxes. That will impact the available supply. Will impact the pricing on these things. So, Dad, who's your guest?
You're going to bring him in right now?
Is it Zelensky? Are you having Zelensky in your house?
Dude, Zelensky can't even wear a suit when he's speaking to the members of Congress. It's disgusting, Peter Schiff would say. The guy's fighting a war, and he's like, can you not even put on a suit?
Man, who's it going to be? Who's going to be the secret guest? Is it Tyrese Maxey? There's
one NBA game tonight. It's the Pistons versus the Magic, which is like G League. But it's NCAA tournament time, and we have a guy on our team who loves Michigan State. He loves NCAA tournament. True, so I was like, why don't we bring on Manny being Manny?
Okay. Bring on Manny being Manny. That's cool. I can't wait.
Are you gonna give a play first, or are we gonna go right?
I have a play. Do you have a play?
Well, my play is take a look at the
Your
lower
play is bring
end.
Manny. Your play is bring on Manny. I have a play. All right, guys. So I made a little bit of fun, and if you didn't listen to yesterday's episode, hopefully we'll have some clips up done for you soon. But I mean, I did a whole little Drake segment, right? I definitely did. And you got to listen to that. So my play is go have a laugh. I got a lot of good messages about Drake. And I'm not that enthused by Drake coming into the hobby. I mean, but a lot of people are. And I guess, more eyeballs are a good thing. People lost their mind for a week when one of the Kardashians, I said that right? I think it was the dude Kardashian came in and opened up a box, right? He got a 1-of-1 mosaic, something. I don't know what that, maybe a Tom Brady or something. He got in
and everything you get out of it's a PSA 10.
Yeah,
everything comes out of wax. It's a PSA 10 when you're a Kardashian.
When you're a Kardashian, it's PSA 10. I'm sure every card in Flawless, which never gets 10s, is going to be a 10 for Drake. But that's not the point.
Dude, it matters. Right? It matters. You can't. It's not as amazing as people make it out to be, but it matters to have celebrities.
I got the impression that it matters. And I got it from you, and I got from people in the comments. So my play today is going to be one that shouldn't matter. Do you know who CJ Miles is? Because I want to tell you CJ Miles matters. Do you know who CJ Miles is?
Is that Chris Brown?
No, it's not Chris Brown. CJ Miles. So I want you to look at. You could pull this up for me before you bring Manny on. If you could pull the card up, that would be great, right? Maybe
why does CJ Miles remind me of someone Chris Brown played? What's the movie? Where he's dancing and his brother gets? I can't remember right now.
He's dancing? You mean he's dancing and he gets killed and his brother has to go and dance on campus? Are you talking about Stomp the Yard?
Yes.
Stomp the Yard.
Nice. And I thought that was his name, CJ Miles.
I mean, it could be, but CJ Miles played for the Raptors. Do me a favor and pull up the 2017-2018 Prestige CJ Miles card for me. Can you pull that up?
Megan Good is in that movie, and she's incredible.
Megan Good is in that movie. She's typecast, though. She's in a lot of movies where she plays the significant other of the bad boy on campus looking to find his way.
Bad boy on campus. What does that mean? All right, CJ Miles. What do you want me to pull up?
I want you to pull up Stomp the Yard. I want you to pull up Megan Good's IMDb and realize that what I'm telling you is clearly, the case. And it wasn't just Stomp the Yard that she was in, you know? She was in plenty O
everything
movies.
she's in. She's incredible.
I mean, she was even in Anchorman 2 for a while, which Anchorman 2 wasn't that great, you know? But yeah, you know, some fun stuff. Stomp the Yard, baby. Stomp the Yard. And Roll Bounce, where she played, you know,
She was
the female
Anchorman
lead.
too.
Also, yeah, she was in Anchorman. But you ever see Roll Bounce? You know, very similar.
Waist Deep was sick too with Tyrese.
Yeah. Tyrese. So she was the love interest in that. I think her name in that was Coco.
I didn't even know this off the bat.
Yeah. So anyway, have you pulled up my card? 2017-18 Prestige CJ Miles. It's card number 110.
Drake in the card.
Okay. I want you to pull that card up for me here, and you're not going to see Stomp the Yard.
I'm pulling it up.
You're the best. You're the best at this, man. I gotta figure out how to pull up stuff and share the screen on my phone and make this.
So this is what comes up. CJ Miles Prestige 2018. It's a Audi Q5 automatic transmission.
Awesome. Put periods between C and J, or just write Miles Prestige and 110. How about that?
All right, there we go.
All right, now click that card for me. Now, eBay allows you to zoom in. I want you to zoom in, but, you know, between Mr. Miles and the defender there. You know, you hover your mouse over it. And what you see there is Champagne Poppy right there in the background of the card. You have a Drake card, right? And yeah, I know it's not the one Yam Wax would tell you to go for, right? But there it is, CJ Miles, Toronto Raptors Prestige, and Drake front row. He might be... I mean, he's got his hand up. Maybe he's answering a question. Maybe he's on the phone. Maybe he's eating nachos, you know? But, you know, it's definitely Drake. You can see him. There he is, sitting front row. And do me a favor, while you have eBay up, I need you to, you know, while we're there, type in for me hoops. Can you do hoops? So this is a couple bucks, guys. Nice and easy, right? But if you don't
this
want...
is ridiculous. People are charging an arm and a leg for this card.
Right,
There's no way they're getting that card.
Because people know that, right? And if you don't want to spend $15 for Drake courtside, can you put in Hoops Siakam? You know how to spell Spicy P, right? So Hoops Siakam action shots. Sounds dirty, but it's not. Spicy P with the action shot. Now click on that for me. All right? Now, what I want you to do is zoom in between Spicy P's legs for me. Now, don't get filthy. Don't get filthy now. And what you'll see is Champagne Poppy with his... Ooh, he's got a little face on, like, ooh, there he is. He's checking out Spicy P, making a move. He's standing up. It looks like he's coaching. I mean, he's like on the court for this one. I mean, he's ahead of the announcers on this one. And this one, if you look, you pulled up the wrong one, but these are available for like 99 cents. This is just a Hoops action shot insert from the 2019-2020 Hoops. So I have to thank the listener Mike List, who showed me this one. I found the CJ Miles on my own. Because, you know, this is a 2019, the CJ Miles is 2017. So you can consider that more of a rookie basketball card for him. Not the one Yam Wax will give you, you know, this is like him actually on a Panini card. So if it's a big deal that Drake is into cards, you guys might as well go get the cards that Drake is on. And that's what I've brought you today. CJ Miles, card number 110 in the 2017-18 Prestige basketball set. And in the 2019-2020 Hoops action shot insert, you have Champagne Poppy there for you. And he's changed his name to some sort of Panini guy, Panini something. You know, his breaking name, his IG name has now got Panini in it. He announced it today. So might as well grab some Panini cards.
Wait, Drake Champagne, he changed his Instagram handle?
Yeah, there was some. Go ahead and pull it up. It says, I was reading it today because this is all everybody cares about. Everybody wants to talk about Drake all day with me. So he said it's like Panini something, like Panini, I don't know, Panini Sandwich Eater or something. I don't know. But it's something with a Panini in it. You can take a look at his page. Champagne Poppy, Panini something. Cosimo de Medici.
Is he Cosimo?
No.
All right, let's talk a little college basketball and we'll let you bounce.
Can we talk about Megan Good again?
Dude, I wish we could have just a show about Megan Good.
Why can't we? It's your show.
It's our
You can
show.
have a show about whatever you want.
Manny, you're a big Michigan fan. You like the comeback they had today? He's on mute. This guy's been waiting backstage
I love it.
this
He's been
whole
waiting
time.
backstage,
His speakers don't even work.
listening. He's dying laughing, and look what he does. This is what he does.
Hear me?
So we can hear you. We can hear you now. I like the throwback.
I can hear you. I hear you.
Jersey.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. It's the best day of the year. March Madness is kicking off. I have my bracket. I've been watching it. Kind of disappointed in Cage because he has Michigan State losing to Davidson. And then you have
Steph Curry, baby.
Duke, so.
Steph Curry. Listen,
No, they have a new guy
called bracket. My goal
I
is
took
not
26 seconds to fill out my bracket, and I hope I picked. There was an upset I wanted to pick today. Who the hell was it? I think it's on right now. But there's an upset I want to pick today. I hope I picked it. We'll see. I'm calling for upsets. I'm calling for big upsets today. Andrew said he wanted to bet Longwood because it reminded him of me. And I said, no, man. No, we're not picking Longwood.
Manny, so you were a little disappointed in our takes yesterday. First off, I said I don't watch college basketball. We've argued back and forth NBA versus college. I love NBA. You love college. Then you said Chet Holmgren is going to be like a #1 pick, which I think is crazy. The guy's terrible. He can't do anything. You went live last night. So before, Cage is going to pepper you with questions and jokes. What did you talk about on the show for people who missed the live yesterday?
So I went live on Instagram last night, and I just broke down each bracket, the West, South, Midwest, and East brackets. And I went through and looked at my sleeper picks, some of my first round upsets, and I talked about every #1 team and where they could potentially lose in this bracket. So I kind of did a breakdown. Like, for example, everyone is
Richmond.
Saw that you guys
That's who it was.
Richmond.
Rich what?
Richmond.
They're winning
I
right
visited
now.
there when I went to school. They're playing now. Richmond they were the Web. It was a cool little they had they were the Spiders. I think Richmond was it was called the Web. It was pretty cool. I was like, oh, this is a cool school. I went down there, visited that on my way down to UVA. I visited UVA in Charlottesville. The Cavaliers.
They're winning by 3.
Good school. All right, man.
beating
Go ahead.
Iowa.
Continue.
All right. So
I don't like Iowa. Everybody's big on Iowa.
it's because of the recency bias. They went through and won the Big Ten, so people are high on them right now. But that's one of the things that you got to look at throughout the whole season. They've been streaky. If they're on, they could score 100 points. If they're off, they could lose to anyone. So that was my I did say that about
Let's
Iowa.
talk about that recency
Gonzaga,
bias a little more, Manny. I had some recency bias. I picked Virginia Tech because they just won. They won the toughest division in basketball, one of the toughest division in basketball. I picked them, even though they were pretty terrible during the year. They had like 12 losses or something crazy like that. But I picked them, I think, to go to my Sweet 16. That's some recency bias right there.
Hey, that's actually a good pick. I have Virginia Tech as well, beating Texas. Texas came in like one of the top teams in the nation, and they've been choking it the last couple weeks. Virginia Tech did win the SEC. They beat Duke, right? I don't see them beating Purdue though the next round. So we'll see. Virginia Tech. I think those seeds should be. I think Texas should be 11, and Virginia Tech should actually be the 6th seed in this situation. So that's a great pick. But with Gonzaga, what I was going through with the Gonzaga, everyone's on Gonzaga. I saw that you two guys both picked them to win the whole thing. Memphis is going to be a problem for Gonzaga. And this is what I broke down. You have Memphis, since Imani Bates left. He was supposed to be the #1 recruit rival with Chet Holmgren. He left the team. And ever since then, since there's this ranking system Ken Pom does, they're the #2 overall team behind Gonzaga. So you have Gonzaga playing Memphis on that second round. There's also a highly recruit named Jalen Duran that's on Memphis as well. And him and Chet Holmgren are going to be battling on, I think it's Saturday. They're going to be playing Saturday. We have those two matchups. And Timmy, you guys brought him up. He's very timid when it comes to aggressive centers. And, yep, the mustache. He goes like that every time he gets on fire. But it's hilarious. He was down like 40 doing it every time he scored. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
He reminds me of White Gooden. White Good. You know who that is?
Yeah, he's good. He's really good. But once you have someone aggressive to him and bodying him, which Memphis has, then he kind of goes back in the. So he's not. I think Gonzaga's going to win, but I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if Memphis beats them.
You won't be surprised if Memphis beats Zaga.
Yep.
That's what he's saying. It's his second favorite thing to watch. He likes to watch the guys from Texas choke it. He's making his point very clear here.
No, this is the best time of year. There's sleepers all around. And
what about Duke? What about Duke? Dude, Duke finished the season terrible. They lost to Virginia Tech, which is a big loss, but they lost the last home game at Cameron Stadium against UNC. Yep.
Duke has Duke shouldn't be a 2 seed. I think Tennessee should actually be the 2 seed, and Duke should be the 3 seed. In this situation, Duke. I'm a Michigan State fan, so I'm kind of happy that we kind of got put in Duke's and Gonzaga's bracket. I think we're going to lose to Duke most likely, but we could put up competition. They have this guy, Banchero. We've been talking about him since the beginning of the year. That's someone that you're going to want to look at when the NBA draft comes along, because he's going to be a stud in the NBA. And I know you guys were talking about yesterday, and we were chatting about how most college top prospects do not work out in the NBA, but I watch it the complete opposite. I watch it because there's people that are in these schools that you don't see every day playing in these tournaments. For example, UAB has a guy named Jordan Walker. This guy averages 20 points a game for his team, and they play Houston. And that was one of my upsets. Houston's won one game against tournaments teams, and it's Memphis, and they're actually 1-2 against Memphis. So I think UAB is going to be an upset. Watch Jordan Walker when they play Houston, and that's kind of the prospecting I go to. I don't go like who's the number one player. I look at like those sneaky plays like Jordan Walker. There's a guy at San Diego State that was killing it. There's 2 of them. They lost, unfortunately, but I like looking at that. That was like John Morant. No one knew who John Morant was until his bracket and then the actual NCAA tournament where he went off. So
Murray State's pretty good, dude. Murray State is they even had a better season this year than they did with Morant, right?
Yeah, they did. They I think they won 30 games, which is crazy. And let me see.
30-2.
They're at 27-7. I apologize. Oh wait, sorry, that's wrong.
No, I'm saying 30-2, dude. You are absolutely right. They're the 7th seed. They're playing against the San Francisco Dons. A lot of people don't realize that was Bill Russell's team, right? San Francisco Dons. KJ, are we boring you? You don't like college basketball either.
Man,
you don't. No one likes. You don't like my Davidson pick?
I don't.
Davidson
don't, and the reason why is because
Davidson sucks.
There's one of their best players is Foster Loyer. He averaged 2 points with Michigan State. Transferred to Davidson's, putting up like 20 points. But if we lose to if we lose to that team that we let go of a player that's averaging 20 points and he comes back and puts 30 points up on us, I guess it's on us. But he was always so.
It would be like Spencer Dinwiddie coming back scoring 20-something points and hitting the game winner over you on your home court. It happens.
Yep.
You're a Dallas Mavericks fan, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But Davidson, listen, I don't want to win this bracket, but Davidson, they were the top seed in the Atlantic 10 conference. They were 15-3, and that's a good conference. So Richmond, who I like, is in that conference, and they were like the 5th or 6th seed in that conference. You got VCU had a great year. They had 22 wins. Dayton's in that conference with 24 wins. St. Bonaventure. There's a lot of St. Louis we talk about. 23 wins. There's a lot of good teams. It was a top-heavy conference. But Davidson's good, man. They get good recruits. They get good players ever since Mr. Steph Curry went there. So I'm not saying they're Michigan State level, obviously, but people, this is what madness is about. You got to find a team that can sneak up on you and surprises people. And Michigan State is not the juggernaut that they've been in years past. It's just not.
No, they're not. I'll agree with that, but they are a perimeter defense, or they're good at the perimeter. And Davidson is they go with their 3-point, right? If their 3-point are hitting, they're going to win. If not, they're going to lose. And their weakness or their strength is our strength. So it's going to come down to two strengths there.
I got a team that you should look out for.
That's it.
So
it's like me and
UNC.
Andrew. Just
Your strength is my
strength.
strength. Dude, we complement each other, man.
No, we're just all strength. We have no weaknesses. We're just strength on strength.
UNC.
There's no weakness at all.
But if you look, 8-2 over the last 10 games, a lot of quality wins. They did lose to Virginia Tech, who went on to win the ACC tournament. But they're a veteran team, man. A lot of these guys, this isn't like their first rodeo. They've been through this. Brady Manick, super experienced. Why? First off, why an 8 seed? And are they a sleeper? Or are they a dangerous team?
I think so. And they lucked out by getting in Baylor's bracket. Baylor has 2 players that are hurt right now. Their leading scorer is hurt and is not playing in the first weekend. He's doubtful for the second weekend. It's LJ Cryer. And then they also have a big man. Bear with me. This name's pretty tough. It's Chachawa. That's the big man's name that's been out since February. So they have 2 people out. If North Carolina wins against Marquette, which is going to be a tough matchup for them, they could beat Baylor as well, and that's my another 8-1 kind of upset because of they're used to that ACC, right? They're playing Duke, they're playing all these big teams. So Baylor is kind of like that same competition. They're used to it, and now that Baylor doesn't have their best scorer and a big man, North Carolina could take advantage and win that. It's another one of those upset picks that I was looking into, and they can make a run. So don't be surprised. They started off really slow. They got a new coach, but it seems like they're putting it together right now, and that's all that matters when you come into the tournament. Whoever's putting it together, you could be the best in the beginning. It's all, and that's why my winner I picked, and I looked at our bracket. I'm the only one that picked them is UCLA. I think UCLA is going to win it all.
Talk to us about that, because I didn't think about it, but then you put some good info into our group chat, and it makes more and more and more sense. And no one is talking about them, yet they returned the team. I don't want to steal your thunder, so go ahead, Manny, because you're spot on.
Yep. So last year they were the 11 seed, made it to the Final Four. They returned, like you were saying, their whole team is back. The problem with this year is half of everybody was hurt, and it wasn't at the same time. There was just kind of like the Nets. It just seemed like everyone was getting hurt left and right. They weren't having their full team. Well, now they're all healthy, and it's the same team. They gotten better. They're the 4 seed in Baylor's bracket, which is, like I just told you, probably the worst 1 seed in my mind. I think that they're going to make it to the Final Four. They're going to play Gonzaga. Tough. If you think about it, they both have experience, but UCLA has more of that experience in that tournament. I think they're going to actually win the tournament. And I picked UCLA over Gonzaga because, like, everyone's picking Gonzaga, and that could actually make me win my bracket. So I believe UCLA is going to win this whole thing.
Mick Cronin, winner through and through. Coach of Cincinnati. Now that program isn't doing anything at all, but when he was there, I think they were as high as like a 5th in the country. They were doing incredible things. Moved over to UCLA, and dude, he knows how to coach, man. He knows how to coach. Mm-hmm. He knows how to win, and I love seeing a coach come from a small team move to a bigger program, because now he could recruit the best talent, and he's already proved that he could coach. And if you could get better talent and you could coach, watch out. All right, Cage, I want to let you make your train here. Any final words from you, Cage? Any final words from you, Manny? And we'll wrap up here.
I think he's insane that UCLA is going to win. Insanity. But here's one of the fun things. I mean, it has to be 20, 30 years ago. One of the cool things about this is you can't just go all chalk, right? If I were to say to you right now, I'll give you 8 teams. You can pick 8 teams, and I want you to pick for me all the 4 teams that are going to get to the Final Four. Chances are you're not going to do it, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's never all the 1s and the 2s. It's never just one. I mean, it happens. It's happened recently, actually. But, over the life of this, listen, anyway, over the life of this, this
there wasn't an insult. It happened.
You're going to get a 10 seed. I'm sure it does. So there'll be a 10 seed that sneaks in, to the Sweet 16, and you'll be in the bracket. How come I couldn't have picked that? You know, like, oh, and there'll be two brackets, you know, two busts that come up, and it's going to be a 12 against a whatever. And automatically there's going to be a double-digit seed that makes its way into the Sweet 16. It's just what makes it fun. You know, that, you know, a team that had no business being in the last 16 teams standing will be there. It's what makes, you know, this one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting event in all of sports, whether you like college basketball, college sports or not. It's cool these next couple of weeks where there's just buzzer beaters and we roll from one game into the next game. It's a lot of fun. Enjoy it. Drink responsibly tonight, guys. It's St. Patrick's Day and March Madness. That is that's an interesting mix of the two. I went with Drake because, believe it or not, in my informal polls of our fans today, more people cared about Drake coming into the hobby than they did about St. Patrick's Day. So I was going to do like a Celtics kind of card, a Celtics play, you know, for the Irish. I was going to do maybe a Notre Dame, you know, kind of play. But, you know, I decided to stick with the Drake card. You know, you guys will have more fun with that, I guess.
It's Drake week.
It's Drake week. It's Drake's. And I was going to actually go with some
Drake mitzvah.
Because believe it or not, Drake's Cakes made cards. But, you know, I didn't do that. Manny, what do you got? Richmond going to win? Am I going to be a prophet? The first 12 to take out of 5? I don't know what the score is. They said they were winning.
They're up 5 with less than 5 minutes left. Yep.
Iowa, man.
No,
Iowa.
I want to say that you guys brought up Drake. Be careful what if anything happens with how he roots for sports teams. Just be careful of what he picks to invest in cards, because I don't know if you guys heard of the curse of Drake. When he roots for a team, they usually lose. So there's been
Raptors won a championship.
Wait, the Raptors won the championship.
That's one, but there's also been Serena Williams has been on a streak, and he went to go watch and root for Serena Williams, and she lost in the championship. He rooted for like Alabama, and they lost. He wrote a song about Johnny Manziel and Andrew Wiggins. He went out. He actually walked out with Conor McGregor that's when Conor McGregor lost to Khabib. Kentucky basketball, he went to like their Midnight Madness, and they haven't won since. In Golden State, he was with Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and all of them when they played LeBron, and they ended up losing 3-1, or losing after they were up 3-1. So there is a curse of Drake. So just be careful out there if it happens to come into the card.
Are you calling Drake a mush? Drake's a mush.
He could be.
You're scaring him away. Come on, man. Do you see how excited? You know, it takes a lot to get like Ken Golden that excited. You know what I mean? Like, look how excited Ken Golden. I mean,
dude, you should have seen how excited yesterday when he saw my comment. I joined his live, and I was having fun, and he was wearing like a kind of a muscle shirt, and I asked him, "Hey, Ken, do you work out?" He got so happy, Cage. He's like, "Yeah, I actually do. I've been known to do triathlons from time to time."
I mean, good. You know, I mean, you're working out. You know how to stroke the ego, man. I think they start filming their Netflix thing right after Mint Collective. So there's time. There's time for you to get in. Yeah, I think they start filming the Golden Netflix thing starts, that last couple of days in March, first week of April. So
I'm supposed to moderate a panel of just Ken Golden.
Just Ken by himself. You were going to moderate Ken.
Yeah, that was. I think it was called.
It makes sense.
Making the case for buying Grails. Making the case for buying Grails. You don't need a case. I mean, you should definitely buy Grails if you can.
I mean, listen. I mean, if you have Grails and you're looking to sell them at a show, you should have a case to put them in. You don't just want them like laying out on a table somewhere. People could steal them. You
don't have a case.
Is that what you meant?
You use a backpack.
I don't.
Over one shoulder. You're single strapping it. You single strap it.
I'm a single strapping it, which just ages me. You know, single strap, not cool now. It's like the 21 Jump Street movie where Channing Tatum, goes back to school and he tries to do the one single strap and it doesn't work. And he's,
what do you
the nerds are popular. I don't know.
I've watched some movies.
I definitely not a movie. I never thought you. I mean, we can go back to Megan Good if you want.
Dude, I've been.
What team would she root for, Manny? What team?
Megan
That
Good?
doesn't surprise me. What team would she root for? Yeah.
Oof.
The Heat.
The Heat.
Just,
The Heat.
that's another episode. Love you, Luca Nation. Hope you catch your train. The Wi-Fi where you are, Cage.